Good morning. It's January 7th, 2022. It's Friday, baby! Let's get this! So I've been threatening a tips video for a long time. So, ratings. Let's talk about ratings. We're going to talk about acceptance rate. That's out of 100 deliveries, how many did you take? Mine varies anywhere between like 7%. I think it's 19% right now, all the way up to maybe 33%. It has even touched 40% before. So on the best day ever, I'm going to take 4 out of 10 deliveries. So how do you decline a delivery? It's very simple. You hit on the right-hand side on the top, you hit decline. It's going to ask you why. Why do you want to decline this delivery? I always scroll down, I hit something else. I don't think the algorithm and all that is that complicated when they're keeping track of individual dashers and why they turn down deliveries. But just in case they ever do, I try to get them to figure me out. So I hit something else, move on, okay? Number 2, right behind that, you got to be disciplined, especially at first, until you start to take some of these deliveries that we talk about not taking. You're going to take them, and then you're going to learn. Oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. The first $5, 14-mile delivery you take, you're gonna say, I'm gonna decline that next time. That was stupid. You're trust me, we've all done it, we get it. Try to stay disciplined. You're gonna come up with your own strategy. I found the very simple $2 a mile strategy. There are a few exceptions to that, we'll probably get to that. But pretty much 95% of all the deliveries I take are paid $2 a mile, are real darn close. I may stretch out some pennies here and there, but you better believe that a bunch of them pay $2 a mile. So the overwhelming majority. Okay, so that's your acceptance rate. Unless you want to be a top dasher, and unless you live in a rural area, I can't imagine you would. It doesn't really matter. Okay. I still get offered really good deliveries all the time, and mine right now is sitting at 19%. And that's kind of high. So let's go on to the completion rate, which is more important. Right now my completion rate is 93%. That means out of 100 deliveries that I've already accepted, I completed 93% of them. Now you might be saying, well, why would you take a delivery and not complete it? That doesn't make any sense. Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because you're going to get to, let's say, because you're not going to know your area right away, I'm going to give you a small list of restaurants: Popeyes, Buffalo Wild Wings, there's a sandwich shop in Chesterfield called Witch, and all the drive-through places you got to watch. Now the McDonald's in Chesterfield, where I dash, are real good, but a lot of McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, Jack in the Box, any place like that, you're going to get to them sometimes, right? You're going to pull up, there's going to be cars wrapped all around the building. You're going to try to get in the lobby, it's going to be locked, and guess what? You don't have to sit there for 30 minutes in the drive-thru. You can hit on the side, right? And it's going to ask you why. Again, I just go down and hit something else and move on. Now, there's another time where you're going to decide, right? Like the other night, I walked into Ya Bistro, right? You're going to walk into a restaurant, they're going to tell you, hey, we're really backed up. That's going to take like 15, 20 minutes. Or, this is what happened there. I got there and they said, our computer system down. Can you show me what they ordered? Sure, I'm going to show you, but then I'm going to walk right back out. There's a question mark on the top right-hand corner. I'm going to hit the question mark. It's going to say, I can't do this order. I'm going to hit, I can't do this order. It's going to ask me why. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to hit something else. I'm going to move on. Now, you can't on the side a bunch of stuff. Matter of fact, you want to save those other sides as time goes on. At first, you're gonna learn your restaurant, so you're gonna know which ones not to go to, and you'll stop going there. But until then, you're gonna decide a fair amount of deliveries. But after you learn, boy, you got to save them. Because on a bad night, you might need to use 2 or 3. And if you use 2 or 3, your percentage is going to go down. But since in the 80 percentile range, I always do my best to get it back up in the 90s. Right now it's 93. So you don't have to take everything you can out of side deliveries after you take them. You just don't want to do that all the time. Now, as far as on-time deliveries and all that, my percentage has always been 98%. And that's all but, a couple deliveries ever. That's Doordash stuff. That's not Rob stuff. That's Doordash stuff. What a big thing that you want to work on is find a centralized location in your zone, right? And you want to pick a zone. You want to pick a zone because someday it's going to be very beneficial to you to know, like, every street, you're never going to learn every street, but most streets, every crook and cranny of that area, zone, whatever you want to call it, that you can. It's going to be really important someday. So, try out some, for me, I basically picked a zone and then that I knew would be pretty good, and then I just used all these tricks, all these tips to make it a great zone. A lot of people, I zoned in Chesterfield, Missouri. A lot of people will tell you that Chesterfield stinks, that you never should, there's too many drivers, all that stuff. Okay, stay away, it's horrible. I agree. But it's really up to you. You got to feel confident in your zone. In an area like I'm in St. Louis, there's so many places that you can make money. One of the reasons why Chesterfield is a good place to go for me, it's pretty much always wide open. I can schedule anytime I want. St. Charles and O'Fallon and all those places, it can be hard to schedule. But Creve Coeur is always wide open. Maryland Heights is always wide open. Chesterfield is always wide open. Belleville is always pretty much wide open. All those places you can drive just pretty much whatever you want. One of the most famous YouTubers from Western Rose, he could pretty much drive what he wants. So there's a lot of wide open areas that you can pick from, and you can make pretty much as much money as you want to. It depends on how hard you want to work, So what I do is I pick the centralized location in my area. I picked Clarkson and 40, right? Because that way I could shoot down the Chesterfield, take deliveries to Wildwood or anywhere close to Chesterfield Airport Road, even on the other side of the river in St. Charles. Is it horrible? As long as it goes some money, baby. I can also take all those deliveries that go to, Clayton and Clarkson, Manchester and Clarkson, anywhere really on Manchester Road I can go to and get deliveries coming right back, or at least start working my way back. That's what I like to do, is I like to go, start out one place, deliver, pick up, and almost come back. Now, a lot of times I'll pick up, I'll deliver, and then I'll work an area for a while, then work my way back. But I'm always trying to bounce. Pick up food, deliver food, pick up food where I deliver, and then hopefully eventually work myself back to my centralized location and then start the process all over again. Now, sometimes I'll get stuck on Manchester Road or down on Chesterfield Airport Road. That's okay too. There's millions of restaurants most places. So, you'll see the word hotspots a lot. Hotspots is a place where there's a bunch of restaurants. It's just that simple. Don't overthink that at all. Now, I did mention that sometimes it's okay to take something less than 2 miles. Here's how that formula works. And this is something you won't really use until you know what you're doing, is miles to minute. Now, miles to money, I should say that. Money to miles, or money to miles to money, whatever you want, $2 a mile, right? There's also a formula, minutes to money, right? Or minutes to miles, whatever you want to call it. Let's say you get a delivery that's $15 and it's only 10 miles, right? If you can knock that out in 30 minutes, it's worth doing, okay? So let's say I get an offer at Clarkson at 40, it goes, we talked about St. Charles, right? And it goes to 10 miles, it goes into St. Charles, and it pays $15. After I know what I'm doing, and I know, hey man, I can get there in 14 minutes. And then it'd take me, about a minute to deliver it, and then I can get back in 14 minutes. Well, that's worth doing, right? Most dashers will tell you that if you're making $30 an hour, you're doing great, right? So anything you can do within that $30 an hour window is worth doing. Now, I'm not a big by the hour guy. I'm a big set a goal and beat it kind of guy. Like, whether you work part-time or full-time, right? So let's say you work part-time, right? Like when I work 3 or 4 hours, right? My goal is to make $100. I don't always make it. I've missed it a total of 3 times at $2, right? All the other times I've made it, and sometimes way more, right? So I'm trying to make $100, and then I'm coming home, because I got to work the next day. That's what part-time means, Let's say you're going to work 5, 6, even 7 hours. That's still part-time, but if you're going to work 5 hours, simply my goal, like tonight, Friday night, I'm going to start working at 5:30. Depending on when orders run out, I might work till 10:30. That's 5 hours. So tonight, my goal really is 150, but I got to make 100. Anytime I work after work, it's 100. But Friday, I can stretch it out a couple hours maybe, because I don't have to get up tomorrow, and I can turn that maybe into 150. But that's just cold, Now, if you're going to work 6 or 7 hours, like I do on Sunday, I go to church, I get to Chesterfield about 1 o'clock, I want to be home by 8 o'clock to get ready for the week, right? I'm trying to make 200 on those days. 6 or 7 hours, I'm trying to make 200. Sometimes I can make that on Friday too. Just kind of depends, right? Full time. I did full time for months and months and months. I'm going to give you a little hope here, because you're probably not watching anyway right now. It's 13 minutes in, right? So I've made 383. I've made 427. I've made 457. I've made 350 a few times, But my goal, when I work full time, when I work at a 10-hour, 12-hour day, my goal is to make 300. Matter of fact, on a full-time day, which will be tomorrow, I'm going to work full-time tomorrow. Lately, I've been having 300 in. This is what happens when you get some experience, and down the line, we'll talk about multi-amping and all that. You start doing that. After you've been doing this for a couple months, you multi-amp, all that. The last 3 times I've worked full-time, I've had 300 in by 8 o'clock. Right around there, maybe 8:30. That's awesome. And I don't usually start till 10:30, so that's awesome. But hey, on those days, every day like that, boy, I had a slow day this last Monday. Mondays after a holiday, I found out are really tough. I'm going to make 300, On those days I work after work, hey man, I'm going to grind down 100. I'm going to do everything I can. Like I said, 3 times ever I've failed, but most of the time I'm going to grind out 100. But my back's really on a weeknight is about 4 hours, so dead back. So that's why sometimes I don't make it on a full time day. I'm staying out, baby. I'm staying out till I make that 300 pretty much. How many times have I failed making 300? Not very many times, man. Like 3 or 4. Now, talking about after I've done this a while. At first, you're only going to make about 200. At the very beginning, you might only make 160. And then on the weekend, you might make 200. You know, it takes a while to get all this down. You know, you're not. You know why it's going to take you that long? Because you're going to take deliveries you shouldn't take. Every new person does it. I've counseled some new people, like giving them my number and stuff like that, and counsel them. And then as I'm talking to them, they'll say, "Well, I'm going to take this." I go, "Well, what does it pay?" They say $8. I go, "Okay, how far does it go?" 8 miles. I go, "Why are you taking that? Quit taking those." And then after a while, they stop. And then they start making more money. Because every time you take an $8, 8-mile delivery, I mean, you're taking yourself out of the system for 30 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. You know, at least 20 minutes. And that's when you could have been getting another delivery. We will tell you that we can't count the times that we got all 20 bad deliveries that paid, you know, not enough, and then the good delivery eventually came. And we can tell you, those of us in the multi-app, and you don't want to get into that in the beginning, is that we've taken a delivery with one, let's say we take a Doordash delivery, and then we've already committed to it, and then 2 seconds later, we get a really, really good Uber Eats delivery. But we don't want to waste our other sides. We kind of talked about that already. It's depending on where our percentage is at that moment. You know, we almost got to stick with the Doordash. And then especially after you've already picked up the food, then after you've done that, then you're really screwed. That's why, after you pick up the food and you've committed, turn off the other apps if you multi-app, because they will drive you crazy. So that's another reason. That was really my video yesterday. But this is just a straight up tip video. It's already too long, but you know, if you want to make money doing this, hey, it sounds easy, but it's really not. It's really, some days are, some days aren't. But most of the time, a lot of the time, we'll say at least, it's just a total grind. Especially if you work full time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, you're going to take a bunch of $6.25 deliveries that go 2 or 3 miles, right? And yeah, you should take them. There's a whole video, I've made a video about it. Pedro, the other St. Louis guy, has made a bunch of videos about it. That for whatever reason, there tends to be hidden tips on those 625 deliveries. Now, when you work part-time, you only, it's not a marathon, it is a sprint. And you really got to be disciplined then, because you don't have any time to waste. Whatever time you're going to work that night, it's got to be pretty productive. So, blah, blah, blah. There's a tips video for you. You know, there's other stuff like, you know, this is a must. You got to have a really good spotlight, flashlight. I paid I think that's you know, prices have gone up a little bit. $15 at Walmart. I can see across the street on an apartment building the numbers. And you're gonna find out you're gonna need a really good flashlight. Some of the numbers on these buildings are black on black. I mean, that's crazy. You're gonna find out apartment buildings make no sense. How they're numbered. There's no rhyme or reason to them. Blah blah blah. The other thing you're gonna need for sure is a good phone holder. We got our phone in our hands way too much. DoorDash loves to send you bad deliveries right after you pick up a good one. They're only going to do it for a few minutes. They're only going to send you deliveries to go with the delivery you got just for a few minutes. But be so careful, because a lot of times they are horrible. They're going to say they're on your route, and they're going to be like 11 miles for $9. I mean, it's inevitable. And so expect to decline those. expect to decline those. They're trying to hit you when they know you're driving. Oh, it drives me crazy. And they're hoping you're not really looking, and you're just looking at the dollar amount, and you're not looking at the miles. So good luck out there. This is a pretty good tip video. Don't hesitate to put some comments in there. I'm more than willing to help people do this. I don't want everybody to have to learn from scratch like I did. Now, after a while, I did start watching YouTube videos, because what happened to me is Chick-fil-A has changed their policy since then, but there was a time when Chick-fil-A on Manchester and Clarkson wouldn't let you in. You had to wait in the drive-thru, right? And they're famous for being quick. Nobody's quick when there's 100 cars in the drive-thru, okay? Nobody is. So, the first time I sat in the drive-thru for 20 minutes, I decided, I might want to watch a YouTube video on this. And I had to learn the hard way, Well, you don't have to. You've already seen this video. And there's a lot of people that will help you. There's other people that won't because they're scared to death. They're going to drive in their area and take their deliveries and all that. There's a lot of people like that. I'm not one of them. More the merrier. Let's spread the wealth out. Because this can be a game changer in your life. That's hard. You might say, what? Just delivering food? Yep. That's what my video really was about yesterday. So if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. I make almost as much at this working part-time as I do my W-2 job full-time. After you take out the health insurance and the life insurance and all that, I make a little bit more at this, but I still need all that other stuff. So that's really what yesterday's video was about, though, more than this video. This video is just a tip video. A great big tip is just keep the faith. It usually pops. Don't just come out and it's a little bit slow and just go home. Let everybody else go home and you stick around and make that money, baby. Like tonight, there'll be a lot of it's 12 degrees outside right now. It was 9 degrees. It's going to be cold today, right? I don't see a lot of people going out. It should be busy. It should be busy tonight, baby. We should make some money. We should all make some money. My goal is to make $100 today, but it's Friday, so realistically, I should be able to make 150. Now, I have made over 200 working after work. Last week, it was New Year's Eve. It was a little different, but it really wasn't that busy. It was busy on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. On New Year's Eve, I worked almost a whole day, so we can't count that. I made over $300 on Christmas Eve. And then the week before that, I think I made 182 on Friday. So you can make quite a bit of money working after work on Fridays. So let's get this, baby. Let's get this.